or how does that help?
Well, that's why you only get a 4-2 or 1 out of 4 years, because it is a big advantage. And that team bonding, just having a chance to, one, basketball get ahead, but two, know each other. And uh, the teams that like one another always play together better. And usually what fosters that is spending time with one another. And especially when you're in a different country, you're able to really focus on each other and the team. And you're able to do a lot more team functions and team building activities as the head coach as well.
Thanks, Scott.
Next question from Stephen Hawkins with the Associated Press.
Wait a minute. There's too much Ole Miss stuff in the background there.
No, I don't even have it turned to the right stuff yet. Hey, so I was telling him a minute ago, I've seen more Dodgers games at the new Rangers ballpark than I've seen Rangers games. So crazy. But hey, going into this season, the way last season ended, I know you've got some different guys and there's a little bit of a different mix of the team, but how much of there is this relishing of just playing after the way everything ended and not getting the opportunity to kind of finish what you had started last year? And just what mode do you see in the guys in the anticipation of this season?
Well, I think first and foremost, when we first got back in July and were able to get in the facility, just an overall excitement, joy, and especially a feeling of not taking things for granted, like beautiful facilities and opportunity to be in a gym, because for how many months prior to that, guys were trying to find gyms outside or wherever they could get in and be able to work on the thing they love to do. So just access to the facilities was something that I think the players are really excited about. Then the second part of that was seeing and spending time with their teammates that they haven't had a chance to do. And normally you're with your teammates all summer long, and that break obviously in some ways rejuvenated and excited people to see each other. And then now, as far as practice goes, the good thing about having a veteran team or a team that's a deeper team is you have really competitive practices. They know how to practice. And if you don't bring it, you get embarrassed. So iron sharpens iron. So that's been a good thing for us. At the same time, this will be longer than any of us coaches have ever practiced without playing a game or scrimmaging. And at the end of the day, I know our guys are getting anxious to start the season, because normally by now we had already had 1 or 2 scrimmages.
And last question I'll ask for now, what difference does it make that Butler and Teague both decided to come back? I know that you probably had a good idea what they were going to do, but the fact that they did make the decision and both of them are back, how much of an impact and how much difference does that make for this team?
Well, it has a huge impact, not only on the court, but what they provide in the locker room and chemistry wise. 2 people that really work hard, very well respected, bring great energy, positive guys, positive energy givers in practice. So we're all the beneficiaries of that.
All right, next question. Next question is from Matt Roberts with KWKT TV in Waco. He's getting bumped up in the line since he wore a tie to the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, you gotta at least look the part, right? That's probably good.
Now the question is, you got slacks and dress shoes on underneath?
Oh, yeah, I do this time. Yeah, just in case I was ready, I was prepared. Well, Coach, obviously the Big 12 preseason awards came out. Jared, the preseason player of the year, 2 other guys on the All Big 12 preseason team. What does that do for your program? Jared being the 3rd preseason player of the year and just having that recognition.
Well, first and foremost, as a coach, you're always excited when any of your players get recognized because you believe in them, and when other people do, it's really gratifying and exciting for them. At the same time, we know that what makes the Big 12 such a special conference is there's so many good players, good coaches, good teams, and just because you get a preseason honor doesn't mean nearly as much as what the postseason honors mean. And that's why at the end of the day, it's a nice recognition and compliment. But part of being upperclassmen, you know that that's not the end of the journey, and you haven't reached your destination because you've been honored with such a privilege.
Jared came in here and was special from his freshman year. How much has he even grown beyond that as he gets ready to enter year 3 here?
Well, he's definitely become a lot more solid in his game and improved different aspects of his game. At the same time, I think off the court, his leadership has really grown, and his presence. And right now, he's having such an impact, not only on our campus, but in all Division I, with him being on the committee and making recommendations to hopefully make our game better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, I saw Kendall Cal put his tie on, so next question from Kendall with our Daily Bears.
Scott, I heard you yesterday in the alumni event mention that you plan to stick with the no-middle defense last season. Given that was a pretty radical change defensively from what you've done in the past and it paid off so well, what made you think going into last season you could pull off that kind of change? And kind of what does that speak about where you are as a program, that you're willing to take risks like that in the hopes they pay off like they did last season?
Well, I think our players and staff deserve a lot of the credit with that. And at the same time, I think why we changed defense is really fit our personnel and playing guys that a little smaller than we've had more length in the past, especially at the 3 when you got 6'10", 6'11" guys, and then different defenses and offenses schematically always fit based on your personnel. So that was something that we thought our team would be successful. They deserve all the credit for executing it and believing in it. And now, I mean, coming off a year like we did, you want to make tweaks, you want to make adjustments, but it'd be foolish to leave something that was so good for this personnel, and we returned so many of them.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next question from Paul Catalina with Sikkim through 65.
Scott, the schedule came out officially yesterday. I know that last week you said that it was like version 18 or 19 of what you guys were trying to do. Do you foresee in coming years kind of a modification of the schedule to maybe do it kind of like you had to do it this year, but with better planning and more opportunity with pushing the season back a little bit?
I don't know about that, but I can tell you one thing that has been exciting from a coaching standpoint, and I'm sure a player standpoint as well. You're seeing more quality matchups this year than you've probably seen before. And I know we'll go back to the same number of games, and that'll be a good thing. But I do see us continuing to play a great non-conference schedules because it's great for college basketball. And I know players always want to play against the best. So it's been exciting just as a coach to have an opportunity to schedule some and look at some games that maybe in the past you weren't able to schedule just because people were so locked in on their traditional schedule, traditional rivalries, to traditional ways of doing things.
And what version of the schedule do you anticipate being the final one, and when will we see that?
I'm looking at DK and he's shaking his head. I hope we can change all those TBD things shortly. Or TBA things shortly.
There's a difference between TBA and TBD. TBA means we know who it is, but we can't announce it. TBD means we really don't know. So.
Well, and in fairness, we do have a couple of both. we as long as the testing protocols and everything go according, then we know. So that's why we left it at that.
Next question from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
Scott, how we doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Like Matt said, Jared came in here playing pretty well. He took a big jump last year. How can he get better? Where does his game go this year?
Well, I think first and foremost starts with ball security and assist to turnover ratio. Jared is a great passer, but a lot of times takes a lot of risks because of his ability to believe in his passing ability. And we need him to be 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 2.5-to-1. And I think that's one thing he's worked on and trying to be more consistent with his floor game. And then the second thing is his shooting numbers, starting with his free throw percentage and then improving his field goal percentage from 3 and 2 as well.
Scott, you talked about the World University Games. Does in the foreign tours, does that count as your foreign tour then, or is that separate of that?
No, it's completely separate. It's just similar from the standpoint you're in a foreign country, you're together, you're able to bond, you're able to play games. Again, what an honor and a privilege to have a chance to compete for a gold medal.
Thanks, Scott.
Next question from Ross Burkhart with the Austin American Statesman.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So you've obviously come up through the ranks at Baylor alongside Coach Mulkey over the years with respective rises in your programs and with some overlap there, particularly right now with being top national contenders at the same time. What are some of the traits that over your time knowing her that you've come to respect in relation to the connections that she builds with her athletes as a leader for the women's team?
Well, I think she's extremely consistent, and she demands perfection each and every day, and she holds her teams accountable for that. I think she's and her program and staff have done a tremendous job in bringing in very talented players that have bought into the team concept, and that's why they've been so successful. And I know our men's program has always had great admiration and respect for just how they carry out their business and how serious they are and professional they are in everything they do.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question from Darby Brown with KWTX TV.
Yeah, hey, Coach. So just looking at the schedule, you have 27 games in 9 states. With football, we've seen increases in COVID cases throughout traveling. I guess, are you concerned at all about the amount of travel, and how do you guys plan to handle that?
Well, 9 states for now. We'll see how many it ends up being. As you know, with Jimmy V being moved out of, possibly being moved out of Florida. So the one nice thing is when we travel, most of it's done charter, and that helps. And that's a blessing for the Big 12. I'm one of those optimistic guys. I can't wait for that vaccine, though, and I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later. And I know we're excited to get back to playing, and then from there, hopefully it'll be a situation where it'll be safe to where we can have more and more fans too. So I know a lot of respect for just how far we've come with testing and treatments and working on a vaccine, and hopefully in the near future, it can continue to progress to where we can see numbers continually go down.
Thanks.
Next question from Kevin Longquist with SamSports.com.
Scott, I'm sorry I got on a little bit late, but and so if this question was asked, I apologize. But just given what Tristan Clark experienced last year with the knee and so forth, what are you seeing with him right now? How is he progressing? And what do you think you guys can get from him this season, if he's all the way back or if he's not all the way back, that sort of thing?
Well, first and foremost, Tristan's body's in a lot better situation than it was last year. He's probably 20 pounds lighter, and because of that does take some wear and tear off his knee. It does give him more mobility, and Tristan's a skilled player, and his touch and feel for the game, that's still there. Got great hands. As far as coaches, we've done a good job, I think, thus far in making sure that we haven't done too much, too fast, and too consistently, where you'd add that pounding in a time where you don't need to pound each and every day. So Tristan's somebody that did a lot of work getting his body down to that weight, and so far so good as far as maintaining it.
And then following up on the point guard question, I know that Jared will probably be your primary ball handler, but can you see a real rotation with him, maybe Davion, and then as well as maybe Flagler, or how can you kind of see it? Because it seems like point guard has become such a rotation type of position over the last couple of years.
Well, I think you look at a lot of teams out there, and several of the NBA teams are playing 2 and 3 point guards. So you much rather have guys who can handle it and pass it and shoot it rather than guys that are limited. So by having multiple guys, hopefully many hands make light work.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that's it for Coach Drew. Everybody hang tight. We'll get Jared Butler up here shortly. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Appreciate it. Great seeing you guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, resuming recording. Please use the raise hand function if you'd like to ask a question. First up will be John Warner with the Waco Tribune Herald.
Hey, Jared, how you doing?
How you doing? You doing all right?
Doing good. You were named Big 12 preseason player of the year. Tomorrow they're going to announce the team predictions, and you guys will probably be predicted as the favorite. Do y'all like those kind of expectations? What's kind of your feeling about that?
Do we like him? Yeah, just because we work hard and we're, just a bunch of people trying to be the best people we can be. And yeah, do we like the recognition? Yeah. Does it mean a whole lot? Does it carry a lot of weight? I don't think so. It's just kind of some paper, some things that's written down on paper that don't mean a whole lot. So that's kind of where it stands for me, and I think for the rest of the team.
Do you see that as pressure or just as another thing?
Yeah, I guess it's pressure for sure, but one of the things that's really one of the things that I learned throughout the year and just playing at Baylor, like there's always pressure to do something, no matter whether it's pressure to be good, pressure to win the Big 12, pressure to, win the Big 12. It's just always going to be pressure. And so now I look at this pressure as if I was the pressure my freshman year of playing and trying to be good. Like this is the same amount of pressure. So that's the way I look at it.
Thank you.
All right, next question is from Stephen Hawkins with the Associated Press. I'm going to back this up a little bit just to give you a little more. There you go.
Jared, I thought you young guys knew all about all this technology stuff, or is this too old man stuff for you?
No, it's not at all. It's just
He's got the iPad going.
yeah, it's weird.
Hey, if John Warner can figure it out, any of us can figure it out. So. Hey, just the way last season ended and you guys not being able to finish what you had started and where you were going, how much more does that add to just wanting to play this season? And obviously with you and Maceo coming back, being able to have a chance to do it again together, just talk about what it means and how do you kind of control that emotion to get ready for it?
Yeah, I think for us, it means that like we kind of don't take things for granted. We realize that, when we have a group of guys together and, it's a season that we're going through, it means a lot. Like it holds a lot of weight. And I just remember last season when the season ended, it was just very sad because we thought these guys won't be the same group of guys again. So now we're not even more trying to take it just with a grain of salt, everything that we do and just the relationships we have. And I think the season is going to take care of it for itself. But just treasuring the moment has been one of the points of emphasis since last year.
Last question I'll ask right now. How much in your head, though, when all this was going on after March and into April, how much did you play the what if in your head about, geez, what if we'd been able to do this? Obviously we all thought you had a really good team.
Yeah, a lot of what ifs. I didn't do it a whole lot because it was just so mind-boggling about how this season just ended. Like, what? We didn't play the NCAA tournament? Like, that never crossed our minds, anybody's mind. And that was just really heavy on me. And I was just wondering about what next is going to be out of our control. What next is going to happen that we're just like, what? Like, that happened. So, no, I didn't play a lot of what ifs, but do I think we could have won the national championship? Yes, without a doubt.
All right, man. Thanks, bud.
No problem.
Next question from Kendall Kaut with Our Daily Bears.
Congrats on winning Big 12 Preseason Player of the Year, man.
Appreciate it.
Wanted to pick up on something you mentioned about your freshman season. That November and December, you all were struggling. Makai, Tristan get injured in January. Things aren't going well. Yet January, February, March, you really turn it on and have a great campaign. So my question with that is, what about kind of that experience helped you become the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year? And is there anything about that season that you think sets you up well for the challenges of kind of playing in this pandemic era?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, man, playing just your freshman year and being thrown in the fire and having to be relied upon for, baskets and just, different responsibilities, that puts you in position to be just so well seasoned throughout the rest of your years. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity that I had my freshman year because I gained so much experience. And and I learned a lot of things that I can go on and on about just the game of basketball and about college basketball. And I'm just fortunate enough to be in a position where I can win Preseason Player of the Year. So it's been awesome, and I'm just thankful for the way it went ever since I got to Baylor.
All right, thanks, Jared. I appreciate it.
Next question from Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider.
Jared being named to that NCAA committee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what the word would be, but that's a pretty heavy responsibility to be kind of the voice for all student athletes. How serious did you take that? What I guess an honor was it even to be named to that committee?
Yeah, it's very, very high demanding and very serious thing that I had to kind of take responsibility of. And through it all, it's been very comforting to know that there's people higher up that are willing to listen to our voice and let us have a voice through the whole process of making decisions and things like that. And I've been able to really have a voice, and they've listened to me, and they've been really wanting to hear what I have to say about different topics, like especially during COVID. And playing seasons and opting out and stuff like that. So I've been taking it real serious and trying to get the best view on all stances for all athletes. You know what I mean?
Is this the first step to becoming like an athletic director? Or
Yeah,
GM or something, or-
there's a bunch of athletic directors on the call or in the meetings, and I'm always like, hey, like remember me if I need a job, remember me, yeah, for sure.
All right, next question from Paul Catalina with Sikkim 365.
Jared, this team, obviously, a lot of the same guys are back, but you've got a lot of new guys. How different do you think that you guys will look from the players that we haven't seen play in games yet?
Yeah, we got some new guys, especially Adam Flagler is a guy who is going to be tremendous, raised a lot of eyebrows. Jonathan, he's going to come in, and you're going to be surprised by his athleticism, his ability. Even LJ, I think, can come in and do some things that people might not expect them to do. It's going to be, I don't think a totally different team, but I do think there's going to be different faces that bring different elements of the game, and maybe our play style might be a little different. So that's the only thing I can kind of tell you, that it might change just because of different people and things like that.
Next question from Kevin Lonnquist with SickhamSports.com.
Congratulations, by the way, on winning the preseason honor. I know that's, even though what you said, it's still kind of nice to have that in your back pocket.
Yeah.
This schedule, this non-conference schedule that you guys are going to play, some unannounced, some announced, but these challenges, I mean, this is what this program, if it wants to play for a national title, plays games like this. So what's been the mindset of getting ready for whoever you're going to face, whether it's going to be Villanova, Illinois, Michigan? Obviously, you're going to be facing Auburn, but what's that like in getting ready for something like this? Because it's going to be basically a pretty brutal stretch for you guys to start this season, but something that you guys can obviously take from it as you hope to pursue a national championship.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we've kind of created was that through the whole pandemic, there's either going to be bust people that are like just get destroyed by the circumstances that we've been placed in, or people that thrive throughout the circumstances. And we've always been trying to be the team that comes out of the situation on top and comes out and takes advantage of the opportunity. And that's our biggest theme right now, because everybody's going through the same thing. Everybody's going through the rainy days of the COVID, and we're trying to be a team that's ready when the sun starts shining. And that's been our approach throughout the whole practice, all the practices, and through the upcoming games.
And then real quickly, Scott had mentioned about you're wanting to improve your shooting percentage from the 2-point and from the arc. Anything that you've done mechanical to try and change that, or is it just more reps in the gym with just shoots or shots, or what are you working on as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, mechanically, I think just my leg placement and the way I bend my knees is something I've changed a little bit. But other than that, picking my right spots, and with the game and me getting older, the game slowed down, so that's helped me a lot too. But just picking my spots, making sure I have good feet when I shoot, and just hope for the best. But other than that, that's been about it.
All right, thank you.
Next question from Nate Smith with the Baylor Lariat.
All right, so Jared, obviously the news came out earlier today about y'all representing the U.S. at next year's World University Games. What does it mean to you to get the opportunity to represent the country at that level? Oh,
that's an extremely huge honor. It's pretty cool to think about that they chose us, Baylor, as a representative. I think we're the right school for it. I think we have the great guys. We're going to represent ourselves in a great fashion, and I think it's going to be an opportunity for us to learn about the culture in China. And it seems like a pretty great idea for me.
Thanks a lot, Jared.
All right, that's all we have. Thanks everybody for joining us. Appreciate your time. We'll do this again next week.
Thank y'all.